What's good, everybody? Welcome to technique tutorial number 4. Today I want to talk a little bit about the jab, how to step with it, and the right way to throw it. So let's get right into it. The main thing I want to talk about today is how to step with the jab to help you close distance. So if I'm on the bag, if I'm throwing a regular jab and my feet are rooted, it just looks like this, right? But what if I'm not quite close enough to do that? What if I need to close range a little bit? Well, at full speed, it's gonna look like this, right? So instead of keeping my feet perfectly still like that, like I did with the first one, I stepped from here this time, and the slow motion version is I step and the punch lands, I land and I pull it back and I bring the back foot with me. Again, slow motion, slow motion. With full speed, it looks like this, right? So working on that pattern, I think, is really important because you can get it to the point where where you can step with every single jab you throw and have it almost be like one motion on its own, like this, right? Where you can just use your jab and your feet are inching forward to kind of help you close that range, right? So, and aside from stepping once, you could step twice and throw 2 jabs. If I'm from out here, you don't have to land every jab you throw. The idea of the jab is to establish range, but you're not necessarily looking to blast everybody's head off with every single one. So if I'm kind of far away, I'm looking to close distance, I can use a double step and a double jab to close that distance, right? And then once I've gotten here, now I've landed this jab, and I'm in range to either step to the side or let that go. The other thing you can do with the step is kind of use an angle as you're stepping to mix up where you are and create different angles and different punches. So instead of stepping straight like this, you can step to the side and have it be a side motion. It's the same sequence, right? This is in full speed. So you can see I'm stepping around the bag as I do it. But in slow motion, it's the same thing as the straight step. I'm going boom, 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 right? I'm not stepping sideways. I'm keeping a good boxing stance. And instead of going directly forward and back, I'm just creating a little angle with it. It's a minor step, right? It's the difference between this and this, right? Either way, I'm keeping my balance and I'm keeping my front foot centered on the opponent, and the jab is just following the front foot. And this makes it so that if you can master that motion and get it quick, you can throw a double, triple, quadruple jab, you know what I'm saying, and close distance doing it. And do it quickly in a way that's, makes it more complicated for your opponent than just trying to walk in and throw big power punches. And once you've mastered that step, you can start mixing up where you put it, right? You can start up, down. So that step, that coordination of the step with the jab, it really establishes so much. And that's how when you see Ali on the move, he's stepping with that jab every time. He's like, the step is almost as important as the jab itself. If you don't do that step and you're just right here, you're here to get countered, first of all, unless you're going to throw something else, right? You're going to get something thrown back at you. So it's important to either start from farther back and close distance with it, or move as you're punching and create an angle with the jab. A lot of times you see guys throw their jab from too close and they'll catch a counter punch, because if I'm coming at the opponent, I'm throwing my jab from out here, right? And I shortchange it. It's not extended all the way. Now I'm open and I'm close to you. So I've let this go. I've let it go from too close. Now I'm open for something over the top. I'm open for something to the body. Whereas if I'm out here, you almost want to throw your jab from just too far away. You know what I mean? You'd rather throw it from just too far away and have it not land than land it from too close and take a hard counter shot, you know? So you really want to be at the absolute maximum distance. And so when you're working the bag, you know, you want that jab to travel as far as it can, create as much power and as much distance as possible. So if I'm out here, right, I'm just getting a touch on the bag. I'm just getting a touch on the bag. I don't even want to really be that much closer than that, because if you're in a fight, a guy might move towards you, or he might, you know, move to the side. So you want to be just far enough away so that you're just barely landing. If I take a half a step forward, now I'm landing a hard jab, right? But to practice it, you don't want to be throwing your jab from right here, right? You don't want to be that close. If you're this close, boom. You got to think about every time you throw a punch, you got to think about it as if it's real life, because every punch has a consequence. Every punch has the potential for a counter. Every punch leaves you open for certain shit, right? So jabbing from too close is one of the big ones. Boom, boom, right? If someone has your timing down, or they're the opposite stance, if you're jabbing from too close, it's a great way to get knocked out. You know, it's better even, and a worse thing you can do is jab from too far out and start reaching with it, right? Because then what you're doing is, I'm trying to get to you, but I'm reaching for it, right? So my body is out over my front foot, my balance is all fucked up, right? And so once I've reached, now once I get hit, I'm not on balance to keep my boxing stance, right? This, reaching or trying to, you know, overreach with your punches is just a great way to lose your balance and take hard counter shots. So I think the main key with the jab is to put yourself in position to throw it with your feet and keep your form essentially. I mean, there's variations. There's gonna be times where you're gonna throw a little up jab, you're gonna throw it from down here, kind of pump it up. But for the most part, you want that technique to always be the same and your feet to be what changes, right? It's the same jab every time. If I step with it, it's the same jab. If I step with it twice, it's the same jab twice. If I throw the first one without stepping and then step, it's the same jab. So I'm right here, pop, pop, right? If I step with neither of them, it's the same jab. It's right here, pop, pop. So the main thing with the jab is making sure you have good balance, making sure your feet are in good position, making sure you're not throwing from too far or from too close, and that you're nice and balanced. Remember, with the jab, it's not that important that you land it. It's what's important is that you throw it right, you establish your range, and you get yourself ready to throw real power punches. That's how to step with the jab and how to create an angle with the jab. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.